Now let's talk about the effect on the child's brain, your child's brain, of some of these problems. When there's stress on a child's brain, it sends cortisol to the child's brain. Now, cortisol is a helpful stress hormone that helps you get ready to fight or flee or freeze in a situation. So what happens to a child's brain, and to adults as well, is when you get threatened, you feel, oh my goodness, I'm in a crisis, you get cortisol that goes to the brain, and it particularly goes to the corpus callosum, which I mentioned in an earlier class. And the corpus callosum is the bridge between the right and left hemisphere, helping them work together, managing emotions, creativity, and insight, and solving problems. Right brain has the intense negative emotions. Left brain has an emphasis on problem solving, looking to the future, looking at details. Now, what happens when a child has too much stress is it can overwhelm the corpus callosum so that the corpus callosum doesn't get enough of nourishment that it needs, which it gets from glucose, which is a form of sugar that the body makes. That's the only way neurons get nourishment. If that's blocked by too much stress and too much cortisol, the nerves shrink and may even die, so that your child may get a smaller corpus callosum from overexposure to stress. And the kind of stress that can cause this would be physical abuse, like child abuse, but it can also be verbal abuse. It can also be neglect because the child's scared. What's going to happen to me? And this is especially important in the first few years of life because this helps program the size of the corpus callosum for the child's brain as the child grows up. So if there's too much stress and this shrinks, the child's more likely to be reactive and to have problems getting back to problem solving. So it may look like this, not exactly like this, but this brain is very busy and this brain is not very busy. And for modern life, you need this brain to help you solve a lot of the problems. You need both of them. So watch out for too much stress exposure for your children. That means substance abuse problems can frighten the child. Domestic violence can frighten the child. A lot of parents, when there's been violence between the parents, think, well, the kids don't know. They were asleep or they were out of sight or out of hearing. Everyone I talk to says the kids know. Counselors, lawyers for children, etc. The kids know when there's violence, but they also know when the parents just are angry or don't like each other. Even if the child's with you and you've already lived in separate homes, if you roll your eyes or you scream or you hang up the phone or you throw the phone, whatever it is can trigger cortisol. It's stress for the child. Repeated stress triggers repeated cortisol, means potential damage. Now, this research comes out of Harvard University, which has a lot of credibility in looking at what the problems are with child abuse and effects on the brain. So I hope you keep this in mind as another consequence to think of anger, abuse, etc. And this will help you remember, I really don't want to hurt my child's development. So be aware of that for yourself and also how you react to the other parent. Don't complain about the other parent to the child. Don't get angry about the other parent in front of the child. Try to keep things moderate. Moderate behavior, managed emotions, flexible thinking, and checking yourself will be good for your child's brain.